A thick mist cloaked the seaside amusement park, its eerie stillness broken by the occasional groan of corroded rides swaying in the breeze. Amid the desolation, the carousel began to move, its lights flickering erratically like faint spirits trapped in the night. The Mystery Inc. team arrived, spurred by chilling stories shared by frightened locals. Shaggy and Scooby exchanged nervous glances, their fear palpable, while Fred, Daphne, and Velma displayed their usual resolve, stepping boldly through the rusted gates in pursuit of the truth behind the haunting. Their investigation began under an unsettling chorus of distant laughter, echoing faintly from the forgotten attractions. Fred led the team toward the carousel, its eerie glow marking it as the focal point of the strange occurrences. Deep gouges marred the painted horses, as though a clawed beast had attacked them. Velma crouched to inspect the ground, discovering footprints that mysteriously ended in the sand. Meanwhile, Daphne noticed a golden glimmer and retrieved a medallion lodged in one of the horses. Shaggy and Scooby, more interested in calming their nerves, gravitated toward an abandoned popcorn stand in search of comfort food. When Daphne dislodged the medallion, a powerful gust surged from the sea, carrying the scent of salt and the faint sound of a mournful wail. Their attention shifted abruptly as a piercing scream echoed from the funhouse. Inside, a shadowy figure materialized in a cracked mirror, a spectral pirate with glowing eyes and a menacing grin. As Fred moved closer, the mirror shattered, shards scattering across the floor. On the fractured glass, Velma deciphered an ominous message etched in bold strokes. The cursed treasure must remain buried. Armed with fresh clues, the group ventured toward the derelict roller coaster. Daphne scaled the decrepit tracks and uncovered a frayed rope alongside a sailor's weathered satchel. Inside, she found fragments of aged nautical maps. Meanwhile, Shaggy and Scooby, trying to avoid the mounting tension, stumbled upon a concealed entrance beneath the park. Though the narrow passage appeared dangerous, Fred insisted they explore it, convinced it was critical to solving the mystery. The tunnel led to a hidden chamber bathed in the flickering glow of torches. At its center stood an ancient chest, encircled by rusted swords and barnacle-covered anchors. As Velma approached, the medallion in Daphne's grasp began to glow, emitting a searing heat. Suddenly, the pirate ghost materialized again, its laughter reverberating off the stone walls as it warned, "No one will leave here alive with my treasure." The group tensed, but Fred quickly theorized that the carousel was linked to the park's underground secrets. Fred deduced that the carousel controlled a complex mechanism designed to frighten intruders using lifelike illusions. Attempting to dismantle it, he was interrupted by a masked figure wielding a heavy iron rod. Daphne, recognizing something familiar about the assailant's movements, chased after him. Meanwhile, Scooby and Shaggy inadvertently tipped over a lamp, briefly exposing the figure's face. Although the mystery was far from resolved, critical pieces of the puzzle were beginning to emerge. Velma investigated the ghostly pirate, uncovering it as a sophisticated hologram controlled by hidden technologies scattered throughout the park. The culprit was the park's caretaker, Mr. Marlowe, who had created the ghostly legend to scare off curious visitors while searching for treasure. The carousel, a central part of his scheme, activated the underground mechanisms. Just as the group prepared to confront him, a violent storm erupted, casting the park into chaos. Lightning illuminated the spinning carousel as it whirled faster, seemingly possessed. During the storm, Scooby and Shaggy clumsily triggered a lever that revealed another hidden chamber. At the heart of the park, the group discovered a trove of detailed maps and ancient maritime documents. Velma concluded that the real treasure was historical knowledge of pirate roots. Yet the pirate hologram reappeared, more lifelike and terrifying than before. Fred decided they needed to stop the carousel, while Daphne attempted to use the medallion to disrupt its function. The climax unfolded as the group pursued Marlowe through the storm-lashed park. Daphne's quick thinking subdued the carousel, using the medallion's glowing energy, while Velma disabled the remaining holographic controls. Desperate, Marlowe tried to destroy the maps, but Fred and Scooby cornered him inside an old attraction. At last, the villain was apprehended, and the team pieced together the full story of the park's haunted history. With Marlowe in police custody, Velma presented the maps to local historians, explaining that the park was built atop the remnants of a legendary pirate ship. The once menacing carousel stood motionless, its role in protecting the treasure fulfilled. Shaggy and Scooby, still rattled, found a dolphin trapped in a nearby tank. Freeing it in a triumphant moment of bravery, they proudly deemed their own victory. Though battered by the storm, the amusement park was declared a historical site. The medallion was donated to a museum, but as Daphne relinquished it, she felt a strange chill. The pirate's spirit might still linger, she murmured, casting a wary glance at the distant horizon. Fred offered reassurance, but even he seemed unsettled, sensing that the mystery wasn't entirely laid to rest. As they prepared to leave, the carousel creaked softly and turned ever so slightly, emitting a faint mechanical whine. "Another case closed," Fred said, smiling. Velma nodded in agreement, though her thoughtful expression suggested unresolved questions lingered. The salty air whispered of secrets still buried in the park's shadowy corners. In the foggy distance, a dark silhouette flitted around the carousel as a faint chuckle echoed through the silence. Shaggy and Scooby, visibly shaken, hurried into the mystery machine. Fred and Daphne followed, while Velma lingered, her thoughts lingering on the park's enigmatic aura. Despite their investigation, a shroud of mystery still enveloped the desolate site. On their way to their next destination, the group discussed their findings. Velma mused over the historical significance of the maps, while Fred considered refining their trap designs. Daphne, feeling the medallion in her pocket, suspected its secrets weren't fully uncovered. Meanwhile, Scooby and Shaggy indulged in snacks they'd scavenged, their fears momentarily forgotten. As the mystery machine disappeared into the horizon, the carousel stood silent. One final spin brought it to an eerie halt. A soft breeze swept through, carrying faint laughter as if the pirate's ghost awaited another daring explorer. Though the case was officially closed, the carousel's legend endured, poised to inspire curiosity and unease for years to come.